Seniors, 3 vegetables you should never touch, and 3 you must eat. For many seniors, the prevailing wisdom suggests that consuming an abundance of vegetables is an unassailable pathway to robust health and vitality. This belief, deeply ingrained and widely promoted, often leads individuals over the age of 60 to increase their intake of various greens and root vegetables, assuming a blanket benefit. However, a critical nuance is frequently overlooked. The human body undergoes significant physiological shifts with age, particularly after reaching 60. The digestive system, metabolic processes, and inflammatory responses no longer function identically to how they did in younger years. Consequently, some vegetables that were once considered unequivocally beneficial can, in this new physiological landscape, begin to subtly and insidiously undermine well-being, potentially triggering uncomfortable symptoms such as bloating, persistent fatigue, unexplained joint pain, or even exacerbating chronic illnesses. This vital distinction is rarely highlighted in mainstream diet books or popular health advice, yet the evidence for it is becoming increasingly clear to those who look beyond conventional wisdom. After the 6th decade of life, the pace of digestion naturally decelerates, systemic inflammation tends to rise, and certain vegetables, often lauded for their health benefits, can unexpectedly transform into hidden dietary threats. This comprehensive guide aims to shed light on these often ignored realities, revealing 3 specific vegetables that seniors should immediately consider removing from their diet, and 3 powerful ones they should enthusiastically incorporate into their weekly meals to experience a profound sense of rejuvenation, increased physical strength, and enhanced mental clarity. Special attention will be paid to the final recommended vegetable, a powerhouse often completely disregarded by many medical professionals, yet possessing the remarkable potential to safeguard both brain and heart health in later years. Stop eating nightshades if you have stiff joints. This category includes common staples such as tomatoes, eggplants, bell peppers in all their colorful varieties, and the ubiquitous white potato. On the surface, these foods appear utterly harmless, even unequivocally healthy. Their vibrant hues suggest a richness in vitamins and antioxidants, and their pervasive presence in everything from crisp salads and hearty soups to comforting casseroles makes them an integral part of countless daily diets. Yet, for millions of individuals grappling with persistent chronic joint pain, and especially for seniors contending with the debilitating effects of arthritis or various autoimmune conditions, these seemingly benign foods can emerge as one of the most silent yet potent triggers behind their suffering. The underlying reason for this phenomenon lies in their botanical classification. All these vegetables belong to a specific plant family known as Solanaceae, or nightshades. Within this family, they all naturally produce a compound called solanine, a glycoalkaloid. Solanine serves as a natural defense mechanism for the plants, acting as a natural pesticide to deter insects and other predators. While this chemical offers invaluable protection to the plant itself, in sensitive human individuals, particularly those with compromised immune systems or pre-existing inflammation, solanine can act like a low-dose toxin, inciting a cascade of adverse reactions within the body. Herein lies a crucial piece of information that remains largely unknown to the general public. If you experience inexplicable aches in your joints, if you awaken each morning with a pervasive stiffness that takes considerable effort to alleviate, if your hands swell unpredictably without a clear cause, or if you feel a grating sensation in your knees simply from standing, you might not merely be experiencing the inevitable march of normal aging. These symptoms could very well be indicative of a food-based inflammatory reaction, and the hidden culprit, more often than not, could be nightshade vegetables. It is important to note that not every individual reacts adversely to nightshades. Some people possess digestive systems and immune responses robust enough to process them without issue. However, for those with an underlying inflammatory burden, whether it manifests as rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, intermittent autoimmune flares, or even inflammation stemming from old injuries. These seemingly healthy foods can quietly, yet consistently, add fuel to an already smoldering fire. The reaction isn't typically immediate or acutely noticeable right after a meal. It's far more subtle and insidious. The inflammatory response builds gradually over time, manifesting as a creeping increase in morning stiffness, a slight but perceptible decrease in joint mobility, an uncharacteristic brain fog that seems to linger, and a pervasive sense of heaviness that is all too easily dismissed as simply getting older. But it is crucial to recognize that this is often not merely the process of aging. It is your body sending clear, persistent signals, attempting to communicate a fundamental imbalance. And if you are willing to listen, if you are prepared to test this theory with an open mind, you might be astounded by the speed and magnitude of improvement possible. Thousands of seniors have undertaken this simple experiment with profound results. They commit to a complete removal of all nightshade vegetables from their diet for a mere 2 to 3 weeks, a remarkably short period for potentially life-altering benefits. The outcomes consistently speak for themselves. Fingers that once swelled painfully begin to normalize, aching knees find relief, and mornings become significantly easier and less challenging. Many individuals even report improvements in digestion and a marked increase in mental clarity and cognitive function. The physiological explanation is straightforward. The body, finally free from a constant, hidden inflammatory trigger, can redirect its precious resources away from defense and toward essential repair and restoration. Systemic inflammation begins to subside, damaged tissues are given the opportunity to recover, and overall energy levels noticeably improve. The prevailing problem, however, is that most people never embark on this crucial test. They never conceive of questioning their beloved tomatoes, their comforting mashed potatoes, or their flavorful stuffed bell peppers. These foods are often deeply intertwined with their sense of comfort, their culinary traditions, and their weekly dietary rhythm. Unless someone explicitly connects these dots for them, they may continue to endure years of seemingly mysterious pain and discomfort, entirely unaware that the root cause is completely manageable and within their control. This is precisely why awareness and education in this area are so profoundly important. You do not have to passively accept a life defined by chronic joint pain. You merely need to be willing to challenge the entrenched notion that every food universally recognized as healthy is, in fact, healthy for you. This isn't some fleeting internet fad or an unsubstantiated dietary trend. A growing body of clinical case studies, insights from functional medicine practitioners, and even an increasing number of rheumatologists have begun to formally acknowledge and recognize the significant impact of nightshade vegetables on susceptible individuals. Specifically, solanine, along with its chemical cousin tomatine, found predominantly in tomatoes, can disrupt nerve muscle signaling, induce irritation in the intestinal lining, and provoke an immune response in those with compromised gut integrity, often referred to as leaky gut, or pre-existing inflammatory conditions. This means that your immune system, designed to protect, begins to misinterpret the compounds within these foods as genuine threats, resulting in a widespread systemic inflammatory cascade. Joints become more sensitive and reactive. The gut experiences heightened irritation, and even brain function can be affected, leading to a general state of increased inflammation throughout the body. For individuals over 60, this issue carries even greater weight. As we age, our bodies become notably less efficient at clearing inflammatory compounds. The recovery process slows significantly, tissue regeneration occurs at a reduced pace, and chronic, low-grade inflammation transitions from being merely detrimental to becoming profoundly more damaging and persistent. This physiological reality underscores why, in many cases, what you stop eating can sometimes exert a far more powerful and immediate positive effect on your health than what you start eating. Removing the primary fuel source for your symptoms is the foundational first step in allowing your body's inherent healing mechanisms to activate and take hold. It is crucial to remember that this is not presented as a permanent dietary commitment. No one is advocating for the lifelong exclusion of tomatoes or other nightshades from your diet. Instead, this is an invitation for a controlled experiment, a period of focused testing designed to give your body a complete, clean slate. This entails a precise 14 to 21 day period entirely free from any nightshade vegetables. During this time, you would abstain from all tomato-based sauces, white potatoes in any form, chili dishes containing bell peppers, and eggplant parmesan, among others. Just 3 weeks. Following this elimination phase, the critical next step is diligent self-observation. Keep a detailed record of your pain levels, the degree of morning stiffness, your mental clarity, and the quality of your sleep. When the time comes to reintroduce these foods, do so systematically, one at a time, allowing several days between each reintroduction. This careful approach will enable you to meticulously observe and pinpoint how your body specifically responds. Because if just one seemingly innocuous food is quietly sabotaging your health and diminishing your quality of life, wouldn't you want to possess that empowering knowledge? And here lies one of the most profound benefits. When your joints begin to feel better, a ripple effect of positive changes often ensues. Movement becomes easier and less painful. Breathing feels deeper and more expansive. Sleep becomes more restorative and profound. Thinking becomes sharper and more focused. You genuinely feel younger and more vibrant because the constant drag of inflammation is no longer holding you captive. This kind of profound relief does not necessitate a pharmaceutical intervention. It simply requires a willingness to be curious combined with a measure of self-discipline. Therefore, if you are currently living with chronic pain, if you have been repeatedly told that your discomfort is just arthritis or just aging, it is time to reclaim control over your well-being. Do not passively settle for a life defined by stiffness and discomfort. You might be a single dietary ingredient away from experiencing a profound sense of clarity, renewed energy, and freedom from pain. Start with this small, manageable step. Eliminate nightshades. Observe your body with the keen attention of someone analyzing a sophisticated feedback machine, because that is precisely what your body is. And if the pain lifts, even subtly, you will possess the invaluable key to unlocking your next chapter of health, one carefully chosen meal at a time. Stop eating overcooked or canned spinach. Spinach has long held the esteemed position as the quintessential poster child of health food. Every medical professional, glossy magazine, and reputable nutritionist routinely extols its numerous benefits, and for very valid reasons. It is undeniably rich in essential nutrients such as iron, magnesium, potassium, folate, and dietary fiber. It boasts a low-calorie profile and is abundant in potent antioxidants. However, there exists a lesser-discussed aspect of spinach consumption, a critical nuance that, if you are over 60, demands your immediate attention. While spinach certainly possesses the qualities of a superfood, its inherent power can be quietly undermined, inadvertently sabotaging your energy levels, digestive efficiency, and even kidney health, particularly when it is consumed in suboptimal ways. The fundamental issue isn't with spinach itself, but rather with the methods of its preparation and consumption. For a significant portion of seniors, the default mode of spinach consumption leans heavily towards either being excessively overcooked or sourced from cans. Perhaps it is boiled into a tasteless, nutrient-depleted mush as a dinner side, or perhaps it originates from a tin laden with added salt and an unappetizing metallic aftertaste. Another common practice involves blending large, raw handfuls of spinach into daily smoothies, under the misconception that more is always better. This prevalent approach, while often well-intentioned, unfortunately disregards one critical biochemical truth. Spinach is exceptionally rich in oxalates, and oxalates are far from neutral compounds in the human body. Oxalates are naturally occurring organic compounds found in a wide variety of plant foods, with spinach ranking among the highest sources on Earth. In small, occasional amounts, oxalates generally pose no significant problem. A healthy body possesses the capacity to process and excrete them. However, when spinach is consumed in consistently high quantities or in its most concentrated forms, such as when it has been cooked down significantly or preserved in cans, oxalates begin to actively bind with vital minerals like calcium and iron within the digestive tract. This binding action leads to two significant and detrimental consequences. Firstly, you are effectively preventing the absorption of the very nutrients you believe you are diligently consuming, thereby negating spinach's intended health benefits. Secondly, and perhaps more dangerously for an aging population, you are inadvertently creating an internal environment highly conducive to the formation of kidney stones. For older adults, particularly those with a personal history of kidney stones or any degree of compromised kidney function, this can evolve into a genuinely perilous situation. The precise mechanism unfolds as follows. Oxalates do not merely float harmlessly through the system. Once they bind to calcium in your gut and subsequently enter the bloodstream, they can form microscopic, sharp, crystal-like structures. These oxalate crystals are what accumulate in the kidneys and urinary tract, progressively coalescing to form painful, often recurring, and potentially dangerous kidney stones. What many people fail to realize is that the development of kidney stones is not exclusively linked to the consumption of unhealthy processed foods. One could meticulously adhere to a quote-unquote clean eating regimen every single day, enthusiastically loading up on spinach in the sincere belief of boosting health, while unwittingly and slowly nurturing the underlying cause of their discomfort. Furthermore, the adverse effects of oxalates extend beyond the kidneys. They have also been demonstrably linked to gut irritation, chronic fatigue, and pervasive brain fog in individuals who are particularly sensitive. If you have ever consumed a spinach-heavy smoothie and subsequently experienced bloating, an inexplicable sluggishness, or an odd mental fogginess, you are not imagining it. This could very well be your body's inflammatory response to an overload of oxalates. The delicate gut lining becomes irritated, the absorption of vital nutrients plummets, and even your nervous system can bear the brunt of this physiological assault. What you perceived as a healthy, energizing routine might in fact be quietly and persistently draining your vitality. Now, the crucial takeaway here is not that you must eliminate spinach from your diet indefinitely. Spinach is not inherently a villainous food. However, it is imperative to respect its unique biochemistry, because the method of its preparation fundamentally alters its impact on your body. Raw baby spinach, consumed in modest amounts and not on a daily basis, tends to be a safer option, especially if you have no pre-existing sensitivities. Yet, an even more advisable approach is to lightly steam your spinach. Just a few minutes of gentle cooking can dramatically reduce its oxalate content, rendering it far safer and more beneficial for regular consumption. Moreover, pairing cooked spinach with healthy fats, such as a generous drizzle of olive oil or a few slices of avocado, not only assists your body in more effectively absorbing the fat-soluble vitamins A, E, and K present in spinach, but also offers an additional layer of protection for your gut lining against potential irritation. The key is to avoid extremes. Cease boiling spinach into an unrecognizable mush. This process not only destroys its delicate texture, but also significantly reduces its nutrient content and, critically, concentrates its oxalate load. Skip the canned varieties altogether. These are typically stripped of their freshness, often contain excessive sodium, and retain their full preserved oxalate content. And crucially, stop indiscriminately dumping large handfuls of raw spinach into your daily smoothies, particularly if you are already experiencing joint pain, fatigue, kidney issues, or chronic digestive problems. The cumulative daily buildup of oxalates can exert a quiet, erosive toll on your entire physiological system. Instead, cultivate a diverse rotation of greens. Explore arugula, romaine lettuce, lightly cooked kale, collard greens, and fresh herbs like parsley or cilantro. Provide your body with a broad spectrum of nutrients and compounds. True nutritional balance is never about fixating on a single quote-unquote superfood. It is about establishing a holistic and varied rhythm in how you nourish yourself. You do not need to strive for perfection in your diet. You simply need to cultivate consciousness and intentionality. If you are over 60 and have been consistently feeling quote-unquote off, experiencing a persistent heaviness after meals, excessive gas, mental fogginess, or an unexplained fatigue, despite believing you are eating cleanly, take a critical look at your spinach intake, especially if you have been heavily relying on green smoothies or traditional, heavily cooked spinach dishes. Try completely eliminating it for a period of 2 weeks. During this time, replace it with other diverse greens. Meticulously observe your digestion, your mental clarity, and the condition of your joints. When you reintroduce spinach, do so with moderation. Ensure it is lightly steamed, paired with healthy fats, and integrated into a balanced meal alongside other foods. Sometimes, the foods that are inadvertently causing us the most harm are precisely the ones we have been convinced are helping us. Therefore, cultivate flexibility, embrace curiosity, and break free from eating out of sheer habit. Instead, eat from a place of deep understanding and awareness. Because truly effective nutrition isn't about blindly following fleeting trends, it's about attentively listening to the subtle feedback of your body provides and making conscious adjustments when it speaks. And if spinach, in its current form of consumption, is no longer serving your highest well-being, release it. Your energy, your kidney health, and your digestive system all deserve better than silent sabotage. Stop eating raw cruciferous veggies if you have thyroid issues. Imagine a plate laden with vibrant broccoli florets, crisp cauliflower, fresh cabbage, and robust kale, a visual masterpiece of health and vitality. These cruciferous vegetables consistently occupy the pinnacle of virtually every superfood list. And for the vast majority of people, they indeed represent powerful dietary allies. They are exceptionally rich in dietary fiber, potent antioxidants, essential vitamins C and K, and a plethora of phytonutrients known for their anti-inflammatory properties and their crucial role in supporting the body's natural detoxification pathways. However, there exists a critical caveat, one that most individuals, including a surprising number of medical professionals, often fail to communicate. If you are currently contending with thyroid issues, particularly if you are a woman over the age of 60, consuming these cruciferous vegetables in their raw form might, paradoxically, be doing more harm than good for your delicate endocrine system. The underlying reason for this concerns a specific group of naturally occurring plant compounds known as goitrogens. These substances are present in raw cruciferous vegetables, and while generally harmless in small quantities for most healthy individuals, they possess the capacity to significantly interfere with thyroid function in people who are already metabolically vulnerable or predisposed to thyroid imbalances. Goitrogens exert their influence by diminishing your body's ability to efficiently absorb iodine, a trace mineral that is absolutely fundamental and indispensable for the production of crucial thyroid hormones. When your thyroid gland struggles to produce an adequate supply of these essential hormones, the ripple effects can be widespread and profoundly impact nearly every system in your body. Your metabolism, the engine of your body, perceptibly slows down. Your energy levels crash, leaving you feeling perpetually depleted. Your mood can flatten, contributing to feelings of lethargy or even depression. Your body may begin to stubbornly retain weight, even in the face of reduced caloric intake, and you may find yourself dragging through the day, feeling as though your internal fuel tank is completely empty. It is vital to emphasize that this revelation does not label broccoli or kale as inherently bad foods. They are most certainly not. However, for an individual diagnosed with hypothyroidism, Hashimoto's thyroiditis, or those with a family history of sluggish thyroid function, consuming raw cruciferous vegetables in substantial amounts, particularly on a daily basis, can actively begin to suppress the very gland you are diligently trying to protect and support. The initial effects are often subtle and insidious. You might experience a slight increase in fatigue, a touch more brain fog, consistently cold hands and feet, or a noticeable slowing of digestion, you might readily attribute these changes to natural aging, fluctuating hormones, or the daily stresses of life, never suspecting that the vibrant green smoothie or the crisp raw salad that initiated your day could be the silent saboteur. Yet, make no mistake, your thyroid gland is exquisitely sensitive. It acts as the central control panel for your entire metabolic system, and it meticulously processes every signal, every nutrient or nutrient blocker, and every dietary choice you make. If iodine cannot effectively reach the thyroid gland, hormone production inevitably declines. And when thyroid hormone levels drop, your entire body downshifts into a state of metabolic slowdown. Simple tasks become exhausting. Your skin may become noticeably dry and flaky. Your hair might thin or become brittle. Your bowels may slow to a crawl, leading to constipation. You could experience inexplicable weight gain, even when consciously eating less. And, most distressingly, you might begin to feel like a diminished shadow of your former self, all stemming from something that was initially intended to be unequivocally healthy. So, what is the practical solution to this dietary dilemma? The good news is that you absolutely do not have to permanently forego the many benefits of cruciferous vegetables. You simply need to learn how to prepare them appropriately. Because here's the liberating truth. Goitrogens are largely heat-sensitive compounds. This means that the act of cooking, even through light steaming, effectively neutralizes their thyroid-suppressing effects. Methods such as roasting, sautéing, boiling, or gently steaming these vegetables for just a few minutes dramatically reduces their goitrogen content, while simultaneously preserving the vast majority of their invaluable nutritional benefits. This simple culinary transformation turns these potentially problematic vegetables from covert threats into potent, health-supporting allies. Cooked broccoli, cabbage, and kale continue to deliver their powerful anti-cancer, anti-inflammatory, and detoxification-supporting properties, but without placing undue stress on your delicate thyroid gland in the process. Furthermore, when these cooked vegetables are thoughtfully paired with healthy fats, such as a quality olive oil or slices of avocado, or with iodine-rich foods like specific types of seaweed, you significantly enhance both nutrient absorption and thyroid protection. The very same cruciferous vegetable that was quietly draining your vitality when consumed raw can, through the simple act of cooking, become a profound source of energy and well-being. This illustrates the immense power of informed food preparation. And arguably, the most crucial principle to internalize here is that your nutritional strategy must be precisely tailored to your unique biological makeup. Just because a particular food or dietary approach is generally considered beneficial for the majority of people does not automatically guarantee it is beneficial for you, especially if your thyroid gland is already struggling to maintain optimal function. Women over the age of 60, in particular, often experience a natural, age-related decline in thyroid function, even in the absence of a formal diagnosis. Metabolism naturally slows, muscle mass begins to decline, and hormonal shifts can impact everything from mood stability to cognitive memory. This underscores why personalized nutrition is paramount, extending not only to what you choose to eat, but equally to how you prepare and consume it. Therefore, if you have been regularly enjoying large raw salads featuring kale or cabbage, or unthinkingly adding handfuls of raw cauliflower to your daily smoothies, genuinely believing you are offering your body a gift, it might be an opportune moment for a critical reassessment. This is especially pertinent if you are consistently experiencing more fatigue, feeling colder than usual, experiencing bloating, or struggling with persistent mental fogginess. These symptoms are not random occurrences. Your body is not betraying you. It is providing invaluable feedback, and it is actively asking you to listen attentively. Start with small, manageable adjustments. Begin by steaming your vegetables. Consider swapping raw kale for lightly cooked spinach or chard. Roast your cauliflower until tender and slightly caramelized. Add a pinch of sea salt and a splash of healthy oil to your cooked dishes. Make your meals work harmoniously for you, rather than unwittingly working against you. And if you harbor any uncertainty regarding whether your thyroid might be implicated in your symptoms, proactively request your doctor to perform a comprehensive thyroid panel, including TSH, thyroid stimulating hormone, free T3, free T4, and thyroid antibodies. Do not simply settle for a normal TSH reading alone. Advocate for a deeper investigation. Because chronic fatigue is not your inherent baseline, and true health is not discovered through rigid adherence to perfection, but rather through the precision of informed choices. The bottom line remains clear. Raw cruciferous vegetables are not inherently bad, but they are also not neutrally impactful, particularly for individuals with compromised thyroid function. Your energy levels, your metabolic efficiency, and your mental clarity are precious assets worth diligently protecting. And sometimes that vital protection begins with an action as simple as turning on the stove. Your health resides in these seemingly small, overlooked details. Do not allow a well-intentioned raw salad to inadvertently steal your vitality. Cook smart, eat smart, and live sharp. Eat more beets. Your brain and heart will thank you. Beets are far from flashy. They do not possess the trendy allure of exotic superfoods, nor are they marketed as some miraculous overnight fix for all ailments. You won't typically see them splashed across the covers of fitness magazines or endorsed by celebrity influencers. However, if you are over the age of 60 and hold a serious commitment to proactively protecting your cardiovascular health, sharpening your cognitive abilities, and maintaining robust energy levels without becoming overly reliant on pharmaceutical interventions, then humble beets might just be one of the most remarkably powerful foods you are inadvertently overlooking. These deep red, earthy root vegetables are far more than just visually appealing. They are chemically intelligent powerhouses. Encapsulated within every beet is a naturally occurring compound known as dietary nitrate. It is crucial to distinguish these plant-based nitrates from the harmful synthetic nitrates often found in processed meats. When these beneficial plant-derived nitrates enter your physiological system, your body possesses the remarkable ability to convert them into nitric oxide. Nitric oxide is a signaling molecule that acts like a gentle yet authoritative whisper to your intricate network of blood vessels, conveying a simple, vital message. Relax. Open up. Improve the flow. This single physiological action initiates a cascade of profound positive changes throughout your entire body. When nitric oxide production is optimized and flowing freely, your blood vessels dilate and widen. This leads to a significant improvement in overall circulation. Consequently, your heart no longer has to exert as much effort to pump blood through stiffened, aging arteries. Your muscles receive a more abundant supply of oxygen, enhancing their efficiency and reducing fatigue. Crucially, your brain is nourished with an increased influx of vital nutrients and oxygen, supporting optimal cognitive function. The entire circulatory system begins to operate with greater efficiency and cleanliness. In real-life terms, this translates into tangible benefits such as lower blood pressure readings, a more regular and steady heart rate, a reduction in the frequency and intensity of headaches, and a noticeable improvement in mental sharpness and cognitive agility. What it feels like is sustained stamina, the kind of robust endurance that many individuals over 60 lament having lost forever. And this isn't merely theoretical conjecture. A growing body of rigorous clinical studies consistently demonstrates that the regular consumption of beets or concentrated beetroot juice can lead to significant reductions in blood pressure in as little as 4 weeks. Other research indicates improved blood flow to the prefrontal cortex, the sophisticated region of your brain primarily responsible for critical functions such as memory recall, complex decision-making, and focused attention. Seniors who consistently incorporate beets into their diet not only report lower blood pressure, but also describe enhanced endurance during walks, improved digestive regularity, and even a deeper, more restful quality of sleep. Why these broad benefits? Because nitric oxide's beneficial influence extends beyond just blood vessels. It also plays a role in calming the nervous system, contributing to an overall sense of relaxation and well-being. There is even compelling evidence suggesting that specific compounds within beets can enhance the efficiency of mitochondria, often referred to as the energy factories within your cells. This translates directly into greater energy production, reduced feelings of fatigue, and smoother, faster recovery after physical activity. If you have noticed that your workouts, daily walks, or even routine household chores leave you feeling more drained than they once did, your mitochondria might be signaling a need for more oxygen. Beets deliver that essential oxygen, not through artificial stimulants like caffeine or empty calories from sugar, but through genuine, physiologically enhanced circulation. What makes beets even more remarkably powerful is that their benefits extend far beyond simply improving blood flow. They are richly endowed with betalains, a unique class of powerful antioxidants and anti-inflammatory compounds that not only reduce systemic inflammation, but also actively support optimal liver function, a critical organ for overall health. Beets also contain substantial amounts of folate, a B vitamin vital for DNA repair and cellular integrity, which in turn profoundly supports long-term heart health. Furthermore, their generous fiber content aids in healthy digestion, helps to lower unhealthy cholesterol levels, and plays a crucial role in regulating blood sugar, all aspects that become increasingly important with advancing age. However, it is essential to recognize that not all beet preparations are created equal. It is advisable to skip the canned varieties, which are often swimming in sugary syrups or vinegars and have frequently been stripped of much of their potent nutritional power and steeped in unnecessary preservatives. If your aim is to harness the profound benefits of beets, opt for whole, fresh beets. Roasting them brings out their natural sweetness, making them not only more palatable, but also easier on the digestive system. Integrate them creatively into your meals. Slice them thinly into vibrant salads. Blend them into a nutrient-dense smoothie alongside berries and a squeeze of lemon, or add them to soups for both their deep color and earthy flavor. Alternatively, simply enjoy them warm with a drizzle of olive oil and a sprinkle of sea salt. Simple, nourishing, and profoundly powerful. Even beet greens, which are regrettably often discarded, are a treasure trove of nutrients, particularly rich in potassium, calcium, and vitamin K. Lightly sauté them or incorporate them into omelets for an added nutritional boost. Every part of the beet plant offers something valuable to your body, and at this stage of life, every small nutritional advantage accumulates into significant overall health benefits. Some individuals express concern about beets due to their perceived sugar content. While it is true that beets possess a natural sweetness, this is a distinct type of sugar. It is naturally packaged within a robust matrix of dietary fiber, potent antioxidants, and essential minerals. This inherent nutritional density effectively balances the glycemic impact, meaning the sugar is released slowly and steadily, unlike refined sugars. Unless you have stringent blood sugar restrictions or advanced kidney issues that require specific dietary modifications, beets, consumed in moderate portions, are not merely safe, they are a strategic addition to your diet. They offer a level of synergistic nutrition, nutrients that work collaboratively to heal and restore, that highly processed foods can never hope to replicate. And perhaps the most compelling aspect of beets is their accessibility. You do not need to invest in expensive, trendy powders or specialized supplements. Just whole, unprocessed foods, from root to leaf, readily available at your local grocery store or farmer's market. They are affordable, incredibly versatile, and surprisingly easy to prepare once you integrate them into your weekly routine. So, if you have been experiencing persistent mental fogginess, a pervasive slowness, uncomfortable stiffness, or an unexplained shortness of breath, before instinctively reaching for another medication, pause and consider this. Your brain and heart might not be failing. They might simply be signaling a profound hunger for improved blood flow, for a more abundant supply of oxygen, for deeper and more efficient circulation. And that next breath of renewed vitality might be patiently waiting in something as humble and unassuming as a roasted beet. Give it a try, adopt one small habit, make one small dietary shift, Perhaps a few slices of beet at dinner, or a smoothie incorporating real beet root rather than a powdered extract. And then, diligently observe what unfolds. Watch your energy levels steadily rise. Witness your thinking become sharper and more incisive. Feel your walk become smoother and more effortless. Experience a deeper, more restorative sleep and a lighter, more vibrant daily existence. This is not mere marketing hype. This is fundamental biology at work. Your blood yearns to circulate freely. Your brain is designed to thrive and excel. Your heart desires to beat with robust strength, not under strain. Provide your body with what it inherently needs. Begin with beets. Your brain and heart will express their gratitude not through words, but through an undeniable surge of energy, unparalleled clarity, and enduring strength that profoundly lasts. Eat sauerkraut, real fermented cabbage for gut power. In our modern, industrialized world, we have, regrettably, allowed ourselves to forget something absolutely critical about the way humans are fundamentally meant to nourish themselves. And the price of this collective amnesia is being paid in a widespread epidemic of uncomfortable bloating, chronic fatigue, persistent constipation, and an undercurrent of low-grade systemic inflammation that many simply cannot explain. The truth is, it's not exclusively about what we eat that profoundly impacts our health. It is, perhaps even more critically, about what we effectively digest and assimilate. More than ever before, seniors are finding themselves trapped in a state of internal stagnation, characterized by slow digestion, unpredictable bowel movements, a weakened immune system, pervasive foggy thinking, and that insidious, unexplained low-grade inflammation. But the definitive solution to these common ailments isn't always found in simply consuming more dietary fiber, taking additional medications, or even relying solely on another bottle of commercial probiotic supplements. Sometimes the most potent remedy is something ancient, something wonderfully simple, something profoundly alive: the process of fermentation. Long before the advent of modern refrigeration, virtually every human culture across the globe intuitively understood and relied upon fermented foods, not only as an ingenious method to preserve precious nutrients, but also, crucially, to enhance their digestibility and bioavailability. Think of kimchi in Korea, miso in Japan, traditional yogurt throughout the Mediterranean, or sauerkraut, fermented cabbage, in European culinary traditions. These foods were not fleeting dietary fads or luxury items. They were foundational essentials, functioning as a daily insurance policy for maintaining a robust gut and a resilient immune system. Yet, in our contemporary diets, these vital fermented foods have largely vanished from most people's plates, supplanted by sterilized, shelf-stable, and highly processed substitutes that offer none of the profound health benefits and often contribute to the dietary burden. For seniors, particularly those over the age of 60, this dietary shift carries even greater significance. This is because as we advance in age, our intricate microbiome, the vast, dynamic, and complex community of trillions of bacteria residing within our gut, naturally begins to weaken and lose its vital diversity. The sheer variety of microbial species shrinks, and the beneficial bacteria, the workhorses of gut health, gradually lose their competitive edge. As this microbial strength inevitably fades, so too does a cascade of other essential bodily functions. Digestion slows considerably, systemic inflammation invariably rises, immune defenses falter and become less effective, and even cognitive function experiences a noticeable decline. The scientific connection between a healthy gut and a healthy brain, often referred to as the gut-brain axis, is now unequivocally established and undeniable, and ignoring its profound implications is simply no longer a viable option for optimal aging. Enter sauerkraut, but with a critical distinction. We are not referring to the ubiquitous kind found languishing in the middle aisles of your grocery store, swimming in vinegar, pasteurized into sterility, and utterly devoid of life. We are talking about real sauerkraut, raw, naturally fermented cabbage, teeming with live, beneficial cultures. You will typically locate this authentic version in the refrigerated section of health food stores or well-stocked grocery stores, often housed in glass jars or flexible pouches, clearly labeled with terms such as raw, unpasteurized, or contains live probiotics. This genuine version of sauerkraut is, quite literally, alive. And that inherent aliveness is precisely the point. Because within every single forkful reside billions upon billions of beneficial bacteria, a diverse ecosystem of microbes that your gut is often desperately craving. When you consciously choose to consume real fermented sauerkraut, you are not merely adding another food item to your plate. You are actively introducing life into your digestive system. These powerful microbes embark on their work immediately, aiding in the breakdown of complex fibers present in your meals, thereby making vital nutrients significantly easier to absorb and assimilate. They actively work to reinforce and repair your gut lining, a crucial barrier that protects against systemic inflammation and a host of autoimmune issues. They effectively crowd out harmful bacteria that can instigate uncomfortable bloating, excessive gas, and problematic irregularity. Furthermore, these beneficial bacteria are known to produce neurotransmitters such as GABA, which play a direct role in calming the nervous system and promoting a greater sense of emotional balance and well-being. A mere 1 or 2 forkfuls a day, that is all it typically takes. This approach is not about overwhelming your system with large quantities, but rather about cultivating consistent daily exposure to these beneficial microbes. Even a small portion, integrated with lunch or dinner, possesses the power to initiate a profound shift in the entire delicate ecosystem of your digestive tract. Many seniors who conscientiously add real sauerkraut to their meals report, often within just a few weeks, a remarkable reduction in bloating, significantly easier and more regular bowel movements, a decrease in gas production, an improved appetite, more stable and balanced moods, and even a noticeable enhancement in mental clarity. These are not coincidental occurrences. These are the undeniable manifestations of the gut-brain axis actively functioning in harmony. And what makes this even more compelling is that you often do not have to wait for months to observe tangible results. Real, food-based probiotics frequently yield discernible benefits within a matter of days because the gut, a highly intelligent and responsive system, does not require trickery or coercion. It simply requires the right kind of support. It needs the beneficial bacteria that were once a common, cherished staple in every traditional kitchen and are now regrettably rare in most modern diets. However, let us reiterate with utmost clarity, not all products labeled sauerkraut are created equal. If a product has undergone pasteurization, it has been sterilized by heat, rendering it devoid of any live bacteria. If it is made with vinegar, it is a pickled product, not a true fermentation, and therefore possesses none of the live microbial benefits. These versions, while perhaps tasting sour, offer precisely 0 live beneficial bacteria for your gut. You absolutely must seek out raw, genuinely fermented, and ideally organic sauerkraut that is consistently stored in the refrigerated section. If a product sits unrefrigerated on a shelf, it is, for all practical purposes, dead on arrival in terms of probiotic content. Once you have acquired the authentic product, ensure it remains refrigerated. Open it slowly and listen for a slight fizz. That effervescence is a positive sign of active, living cultures doing their work. Always use a clean fork to avoid any contamination. Incorporate a small amount into your salads, grain bowls, alongside eggs, or as a condiment for sandwiches, and diligently observe how your digestive system and overall well-being respond. For some, the improvement in digestion is dramatically noticeable. For others, mood stability becomes a prominent benefit. For the vast majority, systemic inflammation slowly but steadily begins to calm and recede. Because when your gut receives the support it inherently needs, your entire body invariably feels the profound benefits. And if you have been relying primarily on probiotic pills, it is important to understand this fundamental truth. Real whole food, with its diverse microbial ecosystem, consistently outperforms isolated capsules every single time. Most commercial probiotic supplements contain a limited number of bacterial strains, perhaps a few species of lactobacillus, bifidobacterium, and one or two others. Genuine sauerkraut, in contrast, contains dozens and potentially hundreds of unique microbial strains that have naturally evolved and proliferated during the complex fermentation process. These are not laboratory-created isolates. They are nature's intelligent design, and your body's indigenous microbiome recognizes and integrates them instantly. If you have been struggling with chronic constipation, unpredictable irregularity, persistent indigestion, frustrating brain fog, or an ongoing state of low energy, do not merely treat the superficial symptom. Instead, profoundly support the underlying system. Your gut is a living, complex environment. It requires life to truly thrive and flourish. And real sauerkraut, authentic sauerkraut, delivers precisely that vital life. So, do not be swayed by fleeting health fads. Do not pursue an elusive ideal of dietary perfection. Simply reintroduce something ancient, something inherently wise back onto your plate, one small forkful at a time. Allow real food to heal what pharmaceutical pills can only ever manage. Allow life to return to your digestion, and a cascade of positive changes will undeniably follow. Eat cooked carrots for vision, skin, and detox. Carrots are not a vegetable that clamors for attention. They are neither exotic nor prohibitively expensive, nor do they possess a flashy, trend-driven appeal. But it is precisely this humble, unassuming nature that causes them to be tragically overlooked and profoundly underestimated, especially when considering their cooked form. While the collective health consciousness often rushes enthusiastically towards the latest superfood powders, trendy supplements, and fleeting dietary fads, something truly extraordinary sits quietly and patiently in your kitchen. We speak of the humble carrot, a simple root vegetable imbued with the remarkable power to visibly brighten your vision, rejuvenate your skin, assist in balancing your blood sugar levels, and gently yet effectively cleanse your internal system from the inside out. The crucial distinction here is not raw, but cooked. Herein lies a fundamental piece of knowledge that most people, even many health-conscious individuals, do not fully grasp. Cooking carrots, when done gently and correctly, does not diminish or destroy their vital nutrients. On the contrary, it profoundly unlocks them. When you thoughtfully steam, roast, or gently saute carrots, you activate and make readily available a powerful antioxidant compound called beta-carotene. This specific compound is a precursor that your body masterfully converts into vitamin A. And vitamin A is far more than just a letter on a supplement bottle. It is a fundamental biological force, a powerhouse nutrient that diligently protects the delicate structures of your eyes, actively regenerates the cells of your skin, and significantly strengthens the protective linings of your internal organs, most notably the gastrointestinal tract. However, here is the critical key to unlocking these benefits. Your body cannot efficiently absorb beta-carotene from raw carrots. In their raw state, the beta-carotene molecules are effectively trapped within the tough, fibrous cell walls of the plant. But introduce a little heat, and these structural barriers begin to break down. Suddenly, the potent nutrients become accessible, profoundly bioavailable, meaning your cells can readily absorb and utilize them. So, what transformative effects can you expect when you consistently consume cooked carrots 3 to 4 times each week? Your eyes will likely be the first to express their gratitude. Vitamin A directly supports the health and function of the retina, enhancing your night vision and significantly reducing your risk of age-related macular degeneration, AMD. AMD is a slow, silent, and insidious condition that progressively robs millions of seniors of their precious independence, often beginning its damage long before any noticeable symptoms manifest. Cooked carrots provide essential nourishment to the cells that maintain the sharpness of your world, contribute to safer driving, and ensure your reading remains an enjoyable and effortless activity. And the benefits, remarkably, do not cease there. your skin will be the next organ to respond positively, because vitamin A and beta-carotene are not merely beneficial for ocular health, they are foundational pillars for robust skin health. They actively aid in the regeneration of new skin cells, support the crucial production of collagen, the protein responsible for skin elasticity and firmness, and diligently protect your outermost layer from the ravages of oxidative damage. Over time, consistent consumption of cooked carrots can contribute to smoother skin, noticeably less prone to dryness, and more resilient to the various environmental elements. This transformation originates not from external application, but from profound nourishment within. And if you have been investing substantial sums of money in an array of lotions, serums, and creams, holding on to the hope of reversing the signs of aging, consider this profound truth. Your skin is literally constructed from the nutrients you feed it, and carrots, quietly yet powerfully, deliver precisely the restorative nutrients that can bring about such revitalization. Now, let us turn our attention to the concept of detoxification, a term that has regrettably been overused and often misused by aggressive marketers, but which nevertheless represents a vital and undeniable biological reality. Your liver serves as your body's central detoxification command center. Every hormone, every medication, every environmental toxin your body encounters must pass through this extraordinary filtering organ. While trendy detox teas and elaborate cleanses often make grand, sweeping promises, the undeniable truth is that your liver does not require gimmicks or fads. What it truly needs is consistent, foundational support. Cooked carrots provide this essential support in two profoundly effective ways. Firstly, their rich content of soluble fiber actively binds to waste products and toxins within your digestive tract, effectively facilitating their elimination from the body rather than allowing them to recirculate and cause further harm. Secondly, the powerful antioxidants present in cooked carrots work diligently to reduce the oxidative stress that perpetually burdens your liver, thereby allowing it to function with significantly greater efficiency and less strain. When your liver is properly supported and functioning optimally, your overall digestion measurably improves. Your energy levels stabilize and become more consistent. Your skin often clears and gains a healthy radiance, and even your mood experiences a perceptible lift. Because, yes, a sluggish, overburdened liver can indeed make you feel heavy and sluggish, not just physically, but mentally and emotionally as well. Here is where the power of cooked carrots becomes even more potent. When you strategically combine your cooked carrots with a pinch of turmeric and a dash of black pepper, you elevate this seemingly simple dish into a truly medicinal powerhouse. Turmeric contains curcumin, one of the most extensively studied anti-inflammatory compounds in modern scientific research. Curcumin offers a multitude of benefits. It supports healthy joint function, calms an irritated gut, enhances cognitive brain function, and helps to balance blood sugar levels. However, curcumin is notoriously poorly absorbed by the human body unless it is thoughtfully paired with black pepper, which contains piperine, a compound that can increase curcumin absorption by an astounding 2,000%. When this potent combination is integrated with the bioavailable beta-carotene in cooked carrots, and the natural sweetness intrinsic to the vegetable itself, this powerful trio transforms into a deeply healing, profoundly satisfying dish that simultaneously impacts multiple physiological systems. It addresses inflammation, supports digestion, bolsters immunity, and promotes a calming effect on the nervous system. And here is a powerful insight you may not hear from many conventional nutritionists. This isn't solely about the isolated nutrients. It's also profoundly about what happens to your cravings. Many,